Hey everyone, quick introduction of myself. My name is Sarad. I am the customer success team lead here at Guesty, and I'm thrilled to be here with this industry experts leading this panel. Joining me today are three special guests. First, we have Bram Gallagher, Director of Economics and Forecasting at AirDNA. We'll be sharing some insights into current booking data and trends and how property managers can use this to focus their marketing efforts and increase bookings. Also joining us is Rudy Abrahami, founder of Mavericks, who will share his firsthand experience of how hosts and property management companies can use technology, such as different booking tools to improve their marketing strategy and generate high occupancy rates. Last but not least, we have Jenna Gadecki, a revenue manager at Upstay, here to share tips on best practices and the tech tools you need to attract the right target audiences. Now, for a little bit of an agenda, to give you an idea of how things will run, let's take a look at the agenda. I'll start with some opening words about today's topic, and then pass the mic to our esteemed guests who will share their presentations. We will conclude with the panel discussion, giving you the opportunity to get answers to questions that have been raised during the webinar. To start off, before we dive into today's topic, I wanted to take a minute to just introduce Guesty to those of you who are not familiar yet with what we do. At Guesty, we're providing short-term rental hosts and property management companies with the tools they need to operate more efficiently, bring in more bookings, and ultimately grow their business. In terms of Guesty packages, Guesty's all-in-one management solution offers all the tools you need to run your business, whether you're just getting started or are a full-time professional property management company looking to scale. Guesty offers a solution that is suited for your business and it needs today and in the future. Now let's move on to the topic we've all gathered here to discuss today: elevating rental visibility through effective marketing strategies. Enhanced visibility starts with building a strong online presence that you can use to reach out to your target audience and get more exposure. An effective marketing strategy is made up of several key components. Our guests today are going to elaborate on how they use these channels to boost visibility, increase occupancy. Building a strong online presence shows that there's some of these different ways as well, like direct booking website, which we'll get into, email marketing, paid campaigns, social media, search engine optimization, offering incentives, promotions to your guests. Booking channel optimization is a big component as well. All these spaces are really easy ways to take that takes. We want to give you easy actions that you can literally try today. So let's take a deeper dive at the heart of the marketing strategy: a branded direct booking website. When you create and maintain a direct booking website, you have complete control and ownership over your brand's narrative. Your story is not limited to your listings, descriptions, but can be told fully in whatever medium you would like. You can easily create a professional direct booking site on your own or with Guesty websites, allowing you to define and establish your brand, take advantage of your unique look, feel, and voice to attract more guests, build credibility, and increase direct reservations. You can also save on booking channel commissions and promote your own upsells as well. Use search engine optimization and analytics capabilities to drive organic traffic. Collect and own rich data about your guests as well in order to build personalized experiences and tailor your marketing materials. Additionally, you can leverage the Google VR integration for no additional cost when utilizing the Guesty Advanced website as well, so your outreach is that much more out there to guests to see, utilizing our Google VR integration as well. Today, more than ever, property managers are leveraging AI to help build a powerful online presence. Let's take a look at how to harness the power of AI to build your booking website with Guesty Advanced websites. A powerful built AI assistant that instantly generates site content, optimizes pages for search engine optimization, and more. You can utilize it two different ways here: write and revise with a click. You pretty much are creating compelling content, improve existing copy, and adjust text to fit the design or match the right voice tone. You can also automate SEO implementation, generate key-rich SEO data in seconds, including titles, descriptions, image alternative text, and more for all pages. With that, I'm going to bring Bram Gallagher over to the mic to share the latest market data from the AirDNA team. Bram, if you'd like to share your screen there.
Sure. Well, thank you, Sarat. And I'd like also to thank Guesty as well for having me on. I am Bram Gallagher, the Director of Economics and Forecasting at AirDNA. And what we do as a firm is we collect from the web data from Airbnb and VRBO Expedia. We, in the US at least, consider this sample to be about 90 to 95% of the short-term rental market. And we've got a lot of visibility, and what I'm going to do today here is provide a very high level look at some of the trends that are going on in the US and some of the location types as well that might influence maybe how you address your guests or try to appeal to potential guests in the coming year. We'll also have a little bit of a forecast as well for the industry as a whole going to 2025. So first of all, what are some of the big trends that we're seeing on a high level? Well, first of all, if we'll look at these two graphs here, and I'll get back to these points in just a minute. We look at these two graphs here. This is sort of the economic situation in a nutshell. One thing to point out too is that because travel is a forward-looking industry, that is to say, your guests are thinking about the trips that they're going to be taking, not today necessarily, but maybe a few months from now. That means that a lot of the things that have gone on in the past 12 months are going to affect that decision. And we really saw that in 2023. So if you look here, all the contributions to real disposable income growth, you see that huge inflation really put a dampener on people's incomes back in 2022 and early 2023, and that really affected demand. However, moving forward, we've actually rebounded considerably from there, and we are expecting pretty smooth and significant gains to real disposable income moving forward. So that is great news. People are going to be encouraged by this. They're going to feel more secure about the future. And if you look over here on the left, the unemployment rate has gone up recently, but still historically is at a very, very low level. We're also expecting the Federal Reserve later this year to maybe have 1 to 3 cuts, depending on, I guess, Jeremy Powell's mood. But in any case, that should start helping to encourage the employment as well. So we're already at a very low unemployment level. We're already at a much better position as far as real disposable income growth. And it looks like economic conditions are set to improve with cuts to those interest rates. So consumers, guests, travelers are definitely feeling better today than they were, say, a year ago about travel. And we're seeing that in the data. Something else that is very important is with those high interest rates that we saw starting 2022, we also saw supply growth start to slow. So think about this. Those are the first 2 bullet points right here. We've got slowing supply growth. At the same time, we've got accelerating demand because of those consumers. That means that our occupancy is already bottomed out. We are starting to move away from a environment of complete abundance or overabundance of short-term rentals, and now we're going to start moving into more of a normal type of environment, maybe even slightly increasing scarcity of short-term rentals. So that is something to think about is when you're strategizing for your marketing campaigns. What are we trying to appeal to right now? It's different than 2023 when people were looking at affordability beyond everything else. Now there's going to be a little bit more flexibility to talk about the uniqueness, the experience, and the value that you can provide. We're also seeing some continued interest in shoulder season. It's August right now, but that doesn't necessarily mean that bookings are done. So it's something that we'll talk about in just a minute. But here's this slowing supply. And if you'll notice, wow, I don't, the legend here is in terrible contrast. But I will point out that the dark bluish green line here that starts out in the top on the left side, that is urban areas. So if you'll notice all the other location types, and that's coastal, mountain resorts, that is suburban, small city and mid-sized cities, all of these are continuing to grow, but urban has really slowed down and is in fact going negative right now. A couple of these other suburban has also flattened out. Some of the fastest growing, if you look, is the small city rural. That's that blue line right there. It started off as the lowest, proportionately the lowest and smallest location type. It's now the third largest because of that very, very quick growth. So that's something, a trend that we have seen. It is a decline in the supply of urban areas, and that is due to preferences on one hand. So people wanting to get away from very densely populated places and get out into some more natural places, and also regulations, which we've seen really pull down supply in some areas. New York City, I guess, the most famous example. Something else to think about too is with high interest rates come high mortgage payments. Urban areas tend to have very expensive real estate. Small cities, on the other hand, still pretty affordable in a relative way, and that's why we can continue to see strong supply growth there. So, as you know, you're deciding maybe on where you're positioning yourself in your portfolio or to expand next. Those are some of the broad supply trends. Something else here, when we're talking about those interest rates, what about new listings? New listings have taken a nosedive. So again, we're in this slowing supply era right now. Rather than having explosive supply like we saw in 22 and 23, we're seeing that supply really reined in by those high interest rates. And even as the Fed starts to cut them, we're still going to be at an elevated rate, and we're still expecting supply to be slow, those additions to supply. So now think about your short-term rental now when we've got this surging demand. And that's exactly what we're seeing. If you look here, those blue bars, that is the year-over-year growth in demand. In 2023, very weak. We actually saw months that we had diminishing demand, a couple months in a row in April, May, very, very painful. But if you look over here, now January was a little strange because of a cold snap that we had, as well as record low snowpack. It's a pretty small month in the short-term rental industry anyway. And also April was kind of a difficult month as well because of the Easter shift. We moved spring break from April into March. But all the other months right there are at these incredible growth rates that we haven't seen in a few years. Even most recently in July, 8%, and that's off of a very high base, right? That was the highest month that we've ever seen. So as far as demand goes in the short-term rental industry. So we've got diminishing supply growth. We have surging demand growth. This puts your property at an excellent position to start talking about the unique experiences that you have, that you as a guest want to book this rental before it gets booked by someone else. Here is the occupancy picture, and I've included this too. This is sort of sums up that supply and that demand story. The story had been before this most recent year, 2021 was a high watermark, and it has continued to decline every single year. So 2022 was a little bit lower. 2023 was even lower than that. But now 2024 is starting to come back. If you were to take out that January and April and those 2 months that I said were anomalous, you're certainly above the 2023 occupancy. And that trend is to continue increasing occupancy over the next year. Now, not in a very, very exaggerated, very quick way like we saw in 2021. However, the direction of the movement is now positive. We've reached a bottom at 2023, and now we're starting to accelerate into the next year. So if you recall, 2022, 2023, what was the story? It was Airbnb bust. It was the terrible performance because of that occupancy that had been going down. What's the story this year? Well, it's over tourism. We're concerned about too many tourists. So keep that in mind as well. What we also saw is in 2023, this is ADR versus our repeat rent index. And what this says is that people that were in the market, that's that green line, in 2023 essentially left their prices alone. They didn't increase prices at all, and that new entrants came in at an even lower price, because what we were trying to do back then is really appeal to affordability. Well, we've seen a little bit of a turning around this year, some ups and downs, but certainly higher ADR growth than we saw last year. That's going to continue, we think, again, because we don't need to focus exclusively on affordability. We are looking also to, again, providing the value, the experience to our consumers as well. Something, if you've listened to the Airbnb earnings call, you know that there's one thing that they're really paying attention to that has been a massive headache for all operators, and that is the declining lead times. And this ties back into that environment and how you're trying to appeal to your guests. Lead times have been declining. They declined very sharply during the pandemic. They went back up again because we had all that pent-up demand. People were scared that they were not going to be able to get the vacation that they wanted. So we did see that that went back up, but it has been declining and it hasn't recovered to pre-pandemic levels as well. So one of the most difficult parts of this, if you'll look on the left-hand side, is that when we were in 2019, only about 12.4% of all the guests would book within the same week as their reservation date. Go forward to today, now it's 23.1%. So this has really led to a lot of that difficulty in rate setting. So when you're looking at your occupancy, there's something to keep in the back of your mind. If you're not filling up quite as quickly as you might have anticipated, it's not just you. The entire market is feeling that, and it's not because your price too high, but because guest behavior has changed. People are more comfortable waiting till the last minute. Now that may change as occupancy continues to increase. But it's going to take a lot of time before we get back to 2019 levels of same week booking. So that's something to keep in mind. Hold your rates steady for a little bit longer. Something else to point out too, I've got the logarithmic scale over here on the right. If you'll notice, this big green bump that we saw in 2019 has moved back. So where it once was 19, 20 weeks out, there's some people that actually want to book even farther in advance, 25, 26, 27 weeks out. So please keep in mind, and I am running a little bit over time, so I'm going to try to accelerate here, but do keep in mind that there are two groups of people, one that really want to wait to the last minute, and there's another group that wants to have even earlier to make sure that they get the right experience. So try to appeal to both of those guests and keep that in mind. There isn't one type of guest, right? There's several types. If we look here, this is our pacing. You can see October, November, December still pacing very, very high. Last year, it was because they wanted to save money. That's why they were going to book the shoulder seasons. This year, it's different. We are booking the shoulder seasons in order to avoid the crowds. So, try to, again, point out that, hey, maybe you should come over to my short-term rental in October. The weather is really nice, and it's going to be less crowded. So here is the short-term industry outlook. Again, we're expecting ADRs to continue to gain strength. And I hope all of you will be part of that. Remember those booking trends. You can hold on a little bit before you cut your rates to try to get occupancy. Occupancy is going to be going up, not very, very quickly, but it's going to be increasing. Demand had a little bit of a bounce back, so it's going to be stronger this year than next year, but supply is going to continue to weaken, and that's going to help occupancy. So here are some broad marketing strategies. Again, less focus on affordability. Keep in mind the shoulder season. Keep in mind the guests' booking behavior has changed. And finally, keep in mind that we're in an increasing occupancy environment. So gaining repeat guests with good experiences, telling them that this is the place where you should come year after year is going to be incredibly important coming up the next year. So thanks again to Guesty for letting me share.
Thank you for that invaluable insights there, Bram. I'm going to invite the innovative Rudy Abrahami next of Mavericks to share his wisdom on the topic.
Nice, thanks for having me, guys. I'm the founder of two companies. One is a property management company called Holy Guest. It's 350 listings based in Tel Aviv, Israel. The second one is called Mavericks. Mavericks is actually getting the growth technology for short-term rentals. It's so the idea is if your listings have PMS for operations, then we try to create the tools for the C-level to grow the company and scale. And so it's more around finance, owner experience, how to grow your portfolio, accounting, and alternative distribution. What I will share with you today is the strategy we applied for the last 5 years. So and how we implement things. So it's quite different. So it's another point of view from the US perspective. So I give a bit of background on Holy Guest for numbers. So Holy Guest has been founded in 2014 from ground up. Started with one property, now raised to 350. Average occupancy is 77%, 52% direct bookings. That's the average on the last 4 years, with 25 millions of direct bookings, $25 million of direct booking generated, and in $0 in SEO. The reason we didn't invest in SEO is that the first thing I did when I started my career is to take an SEO course, and I understood that I have no chance to deal with the big authority sites like Airbnb and Booking.com. So I thought, okay, I need to find another way to attract guests, and the whole idea was to build a brand and to get people to get back to our brand. So Holy Guest today is a very known brand in Israel. So our strategy is pretty basic. Was to first attract, then convert, and then retain. So we're gonna go through this right now. Just could put some timer on so I don't. So the first thing we did is really to understand and know our audience, right? So this is one tip I want to give you guys is to really try to find your niche and know who's coming to your destination, what are the feeder markets, who are the people coming from. Is it young people? Is it middle-aged people? Is it snowbirds from Canada going to Florida, etc., etc.? As soon as you know, the better you know who you're talking to, you're gonna know how to approach them, understand their behavior. So create your guest persona, where it comes from, what are their habits, what's the calendar looks like, what are the notifications, and why do they come to your destination? What does attract them? It can be, if I take Paris, you have some seasons in September when you have lots of Congress, or if I take the Cannes in the Riviera in France, when you have most of the rentals are done between conferences. You have the demographics, what the age, is it men, women, who books, etc. for different periods, obviously. Culture, events, all of these are very, very critical data you need to know so that you can adapt your niche and marketing strategy. So what we did is we actually built the guest journey, really the flow. What would people do? How a first-time booker find us, how a returning guest would find us, how a referral guest would find us, right? So I highly recommend you guys to really draw your guest journey and to understand, all right, if someone goes on Airbnb, how are they going to find me, right? So obviously having the broadest OTA dispatch is distribution is great because it gives you lots of distribution, but also into direct bookings and returning guests is critical. So the first thing is what we call the OTA and billboard effect. It's a very well-known effect which people are looking on OTAs and then look on the hotel website or the property management website. So we said, all right, first-time bookers, they don't know us. How would they even try to find us? So we actually branded all the listing titles. So this is a few things that left from my SEO course. Is that as soon as you have titles in OTA in authority sites, and they talk about your brand, then your brand becomes stronger. So it's we call the nice 2-bedroom with pool by Holy Guest in the listing. Even though in Airbnb right now you don't have the name, it's only after when they click that they see the brand. We have the last photo is we know that people look at photos, not always read descriptions. So we put the last photo of us is about the company, how many people stayed with us, some that even some testimonials, but just 100,000 people stayed with us in the last 10 years. Our review score, I highly do not recommend. Don't put your website link or try to poach people to website there. It's not about putting your website over there because it's first of all, you're not doing your listings for Airbnb, you're doing your listing for yourself, but don't put any website over there. And over there, you also have the avatar is our company name. The second thing we did to have kind of diversified distribution is we do collaborations, right? We do collaboration with other managers, right? Other managers are friends. So if they have a lead or an inquiry that they cannot book, they can send it to us, right? And we actually connected our website. So I can connect right now my website with other managers, and I can embed my listings to their site, and I can embed their listings on my site. I will show you how it works afterwards. Travel professionals. We work with travel professionals. It's 70% of the business travel goes through travel professionals. So it's what we call the alternative distribution. And not all the crowd of Airbnb hosts are not with these guys. So we also market with them. So we connect with them. And that's part of the Mavericks also offer, is to help you connect and get to travel professionals. We get with event planners, right? Event planners with someone, when a wedding comes in town, then you have 100 or 200 guests coming right away, and you need 20, 50, 100 rooms, 100 apartments, and we're here to provide. So we can collaborate with them. And obviously real estate brokers, especially the one which are not doing short-term rentals, and they actually have the request, but they don't have the supply. So we partner with them, we give them a commission. And it's another thing that, so we talked about is how we drive direct bookings for the maximum brand equity and profits. We call direct bookings any bookings that would not require a payment to a third party, right? So it can be phone, it can be a website, it can be direct message. So we talked about the billboard effect. We have Google, right? And there's a bit so Google is that we use our guest app to push reviews and ask our guests to leave reviews on Google, so that when someone comes from his home and puts on Google our name, we want him to search our name, and then as soon as he search our name comes up first, because Google knows to look into us, and because all right, we have lots of good reviews, so we know that Holy Guest is associated with this website. Instagram, we do social media. Our social media is more around the destination and to keep in touch with our guests so they can still enjoy the city even when they live. And we do some email marketing, and we send them emails after they stay, once a month, one every 3 months, and we try to send them offers, etc., right? So all of these are totally free, right? You don't have to do anything. It's a bit of work and time, but you don't have to pay for SEO, etc. Then we use technology to convert. So first was attract, then it's convert. So what you need here is, first of all, a clean and very clean and modern website, right? You're competing here with OTAs, which are super high end. So it's very clear your value proposition needs to be right there. So we address the Jewish community in France and Europe. So it's your home at home. When they click here, they write right away on a very clean website, right? And it's very clear which they can find, and it's very easy to navigate. So you have an adaptive map, right? So if I put here Tel Aviv, you'll see that if I change or zoom in, right? So what we call the digital hospitality. If we zoom in, you see that the results will adapt, right? So that if they find something, and 90% of people are looking for with the map, so the map is adapting and the results are adapted to the search on the map, right? There's here a statistic: 43% of Americans didn't like booking travel, so we want to make sure that that the booking experience is good as well, right? Alternative listings, it's a very cool feature here, is that if someone look for specific dates and with specific amenities, then we want to offer to show partial matches, right? So I was looking for something for next week with a pool and the parking, and I can see offer what's not with parking, the closest with a parking or sea view, etc. So according to the amenities I selected here, right? So that's for alternative listings. So the idea is not to leave the guest dry. And the last one is points of interest. So if you decide to look into your listing, and people do not book listings to stay in the property, they stay to enjoy the city. So we put the points of interest right on the map, so they can see specifically it's right here. What's the closest distance? Lots of people have it on the listing itself. So it's about points of interest, right? And then so since we put this for the last 12 months, we've seen an increase. So we went from 50 to 72% direct bookings. and we see three times more direct bookings online, right? So people book literally away online. The last thing, and is to retain, I have 50 seconds. It's hospitality. We want people bond with people and connect with people. So we put our teams on the ground. So we highly encourage you guys to intro email confirmation, to meet with your guests, talk to your guests, meet and greet. Meeting someone is always great. Call prior to arrival, be available. Then it's generous. You have that's welcome packs, sort of recommendations on what to do, entertainment, right, restaurants, etc. That's people remember this, and the bonus tip here is incentivizing your teams on your guest experience, right? So if you attract more people, convert them, and then give them a good guest experience, then you will have returning guests. Use your guest app. I'm out of time. So use your guest app or any automatic message to send your guest maybe coupons for next time, etc. And incentivize align your team to your team incentives to your guest experience, bonuses on the review score and average review score. This has given us 4.86 average review score on 350 listings portfolio. Highly recommended. Over to you guys. I'm sorry I took 1 minute extra.
It's all good. I think that was very insightful, and thank you for sharing your expertise there, Rudy. Last, I am going to pass the mic to Jenna.
Alrighty, so yep, my name is Jenna. I'm the revenue manager at Upstay. Upstay is a property management company. We have over 400 listings in our portfolio. We've been growing quite rapidly over the last few years. Most of our properties are in North America, but also we have a growing markets in Costa Rica and also Cyprus as well. So I'll be talking to you today about enhancing rental visibility with proven marketing and revenue strategies. So there's a few topics that I'll go through today. So how to maximize listing visibility and building a strong online presence for your listings. So a few ways to do that. One being social media. It allows you to highlight specific properties, advertise discounts or promotions you might have running. Upstay have an opportunity to appear on the TV show Staycation being aired on CBS later this year, which is great. It's a great opportunity to promote our brand and showcase one of our best properties. So unique collaboration opportunities can be great online exposure for your company as well. Newsletters to subscribers. So this could be guests or owners. You can showcase new onboards, maybe some properties that require some additional visibility. For example, on the screen here, you'll see a snapshot of one of our promotions that we had running recently. So we have a few properties in Austin, and we did run a limited time promotion for August Pride Month to encourage guests to book direct with us there. Branding across online travel agents, aka OTAs, is what you'll hear me referring to them as for the rest of the presentation, called the billboard effect. Again, mirroring what Rudy said as well, it can encourage guests to move their search onto your website and hopefully book direct and save the OTA commission. At Upstay, by implementing newsletters and branding across the OTAs, we've managed to drive more traffic to our website, and that's resulted in a 15% increase in direct bookings for us as well. Another one would be portfolio sweeps. So we check Airbnb every day to make sure that all listings are online. Airbnb listings can be more susceptible to suspensions. Suspensions can hurt visibility as well, so it's important to make sure that everything's online at all times. Other OTAs I definitely recommend on a regular cadence as well. Some best practices to attract the right target audience. Targeted promotions is a great one. This could be website or newsletter driven. You can utilize the OTAs to target specific customers. So a great example of an OTA that does that would be Booking.com. They have country and state specific discounts to target that demographic. Offering incentives to guests, so that could be sending messages to in-house guests or offering discounts to potential bookers as well to try and convert them. Again, trying to save on that OTA commission by booking guests direct. integrating to the right OTAs. So each OTA will target a different key demographic. So for example, if you have rentals on or close by a golf course, for example, you might consider integrating to an OTA that accommodates golfing groups. Speaking with an account manager or support person at the OTA you'd like to connect with, great opportunity to sort of get to know the website. They'll likely have a lot of conversion data for you as well. Dig into their website, find out, what areas they operate in and how they market the homes on their site as well. Design packages. So we're very lucky at Upstay to have a very talented in-house design team. They can design and curate homes around popular demographics that travel to our markets. So for example, in Orlando, a lot of our properties are close by to Disney. So you'll find a lot of theme rooms, child and family friendly amenities like games rooms, for example, very popular. And in Austin, where we also have some properties, it's quite bachelor and bachelorette focused. So a lot of quirky design features and common areas that are built around accommodating large groups as well. Important as well, knowing your product. So if you have a superior or a high revenue generating product, you could enhance that by adding special amenities or VIP services, for example, like a concierge, like a dedicated concierge team for that property. That could allow you to tap into another opportunity of revenue earning for these properties that you didn't even know you had, and using this approach to tier your portfolio accordingly. Okay, our tech stack. Email marketing, great way to drive bookings. Switchback is a great example of a company that helps you curate email campaigns and provides you analytical tools to measure your ROI. OTA distribution. OTAs are one of the most powerful platforms where you can use their marketing tools for visibility. They also provide analytics to help you measure the success of your promotions and showing you where you might want to target them next. Revenue and property management software. I'll throw a few names around. So Key Data, really great reporting tool. They offer Demand IQ, a tool of theirs that provides real-time data on what dates are being searched for on your website, which can be very helpful in trying to capture potentially missed opportunities. Price Labs, they have an algorithm that prompts real-time changes in rates. It's also very easy on the software to adjust rates yourself as well. And they do have a fantastic team that can offer additional assistance and insight if you need it. Shout out to Guesty. You can use them as a channel manager. So that could save you on integration costs that you might incur, directly connecting to other OTAs. They also have another great feature that allows you to mark up accommodation on specific OTAs, and that can help you perhaps cover the cost of the channel commission. Branding inside your home. So it's important to intercept guests during their stay, not just when you want to secure the booking. So an example within the homes could be branded compendiums or house rules printed, maybe via a QR code. Wi-Fi as well. When you connect to Wi-Fi, that could direct guests to your homepage, prompt them for them to sign up to your newsletter. StayFi is a great example of a company that does that really well. I think overall, just in terms of tech stacks, it's really important to remain open to trialing new software all the time to help you increase revenue and visibility for your listings and your brand. There's always something new popping up. Get some tools to help bookings and overall revenue. So again, promotions, utilizing some limited time promotions and discounts on the OTAs through social media, your direct website. This example just below on the screen here, this is an example of an Airbnb, a new listing promotion. So when you launch a new listing for the first time, you can implement this. Provides strike-through pricing. It lets guests know that this promotion is available for the first 3 bookings only, which does show guests that there is some urgency in booking before it runs out. And also the special offer in green there just highlights that they're getting some savings. So promotions like this on some platforms can help boost listing visibility as well in the search results. Optimization of your listings, so playing with photo sequencing, titles, description changes, updating pricing, all of that can trigger the algorithm for a boost in visibility in the search results and therefore drive more conversion for you. The maintaining listing quality. So high resolution photos and thoughtful descriptions contribute to the quality of a listing. A high quality listing will help you capture bookings and therefore more revenue. It's also important to respond to each review, good or bad, and sharing feedback within your departments to help improve the guest experience as well. Soliciting reviews. So if a guest had a good stay, ask them to leave a review. You can also rate the guest on some channels, which can encourage them to leave you a review back, just in case you weren't successful the first time. And soliciting reviews is not just limited to the OTAs. You can also request Google reviews to promote your business as well. Last and not least, your people are your most important asset. So it's important to have people with the right skills fulfilling each role, and to invest in your team's success. So, doing this can be reflected in positive guest experiences, therefore positive reviews, and that will in turn boost overall performance of your listings and generate you more bookings and more revenue. Okay, so this criteria here on the screen would be what we would consider for a winning listing. So this kind of criteria should be considered when creating and maintaining your listings online. So it will ensure that the listings have the best chance of high visibility in the search results, which again will in turn convert into bookings. So first one, a hero image, making sure that you have that appearing first in the sequence, your best feature of the home. Capture people's attention. Then the rest of the images in the top 5 will showcase the rest of the best-selling features of the home as well. Branding across the OTAs, that would be the brand awareness, hopefully to bring more guests over to your website. A description with a target audience in mind, so that's the targeted copy. SEO optimization, so making sure those key amenities are in the title, the descriptions, your photos are captioned, super important. And also highlighting nearby attractions and amenities for guests as well. So this would be an example of a winning listing that we would consider for the upstairs portfolio. So you can see here on the top left, we have a hero image. So this one's a custom-made treehouse bunk bed, super cool slide, goes down into a ball pit. Who wouldn't want that as their first hero image? It's likely going to stand out for perhaps someone with a young family. The rest of the top 5 photos, which you'll see on the right there, that also promotes the rest of the best features of the home to generate conversions. So this property is a karaoke room, a very unique feature, so we added that in there as well. You also notice on the right-hand side in the About the Space section, our company name is visible in the title and also the description as well. And the description is written with a target audience in mind. So in this particular case, it might be a large family or a large group that want in-home entertainment options outside of their Disney visits in Orlando. For the SEO optimization, we have the key amenities in the title, such as the karaoke room and the movie theater, and photo captions are filled in as well, just for those additional keywords. And on the bottom left, we have location highlights being the resort community that this property is located in. So we let guests know what amenities are included, and it's complimentary for guest use when they do book with us. And I think that's all from me for now. I hope there's some valuable takeaways that you can incorporate into your own portfolio to drive visibility and revenue. Thanks so much for your time.
Amazing. Thank you, Jenna. Those are great strategies that State has. Now, what I am going to do is jump into the panel discussion part of this with a special thanks to all the attendees who sent in questions during the webinar today as well. So I'm going to kick this off with some questions for all the participants on the panel today. The first question I had was, in your experience, what are some common challenges property managers face when it comes to building a strong online presence? How can technology help overcome these challenges? Maybe we can go on presentation form if you wanted to take that, Bram, first.
How to build an online presence. We've been investigating a lot of different things. Of course, listing on several platforms, having your own website, of course, is very important as well. And I can give you this sort of similar answer I'd give to any question about about the short-term rental space. You need to have lots of data, high quality data. So, track who's visiting as best you can. Look at, you can even do slight changes here and there to see if you get different responses. So, I've heard a variety of different things from property managers, but certainly always make sure that you're paying attention to what's working and what's not.
Perfect. Anything to add there, Ruby, with online presence? I think you touched on some of the websites and how you drive traffic and things like that, specifically with your direct website. Anything in terms of the online presence that you would say is important?
I would add that using social media and monitoring what's going on with AI search engines. More and more people are looking asking now ChatGPT and other AIs to answer questions. So probably look into these. But online presence, obviously OTAs, social media is a big thing since people are looking at their Instagram channels, TikTok, or whatever audience you have several times a day. So investing a bit of time in posting about your destination, your listings, is important because then you can pop up a few times a day to your audience. So it's I would invest quite now with a new AI trend. I would invest more time into doing quality social media, yeah, looking that direction. Creating blog content is a good thing. Yeah, it's again, if I would choose only one thing, I would say hospitality in the broader hospitality digitally and on spot is what brings more and more people because people bond with people. And I think in Jenna's presentation, we've seen it. Your people is your biggest asset. And I cannot agree more with Jenna on that.
Absolutely. I think Jenna also touched on this, but did you have anything else to add there, Jenna?
Yeah, so I would say, some of the biggest challenges that we face is just staying visible. So especially in markets with high or growing supply, it's an ongoing challenge to stay ahead of your competitors. So I would definitely make sure that, if you have access to a pricing software that can help you with this, making sure that your rates are appropriate. For example, Price Labs have integrations directly with like weekly and monthly promotions that can directly connect to the OTAs, such as Airbnb. And so those promotions help you boost visibility. So utilizing those promotions and just understanding what could trigger the algorithm. So no one knows exactly how the algorithm works to a T, but there are ways that you can do that just by switching a photo or adjusting your rates, anything like that, just to help your visibility. So, Guesty has some great tools, Price Labs. There are a lot of companies out there that would do something similar.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just to add something, sorry, if I can just add something. We see more and more people trying to steer into the OTA algorithms, right? And just so we know, it's dangerous. It's dangerous because the more dependence you bring and you play the OTA game, and the more and the less your brand value is, and eventually maybe there's seasonal property manager, there's bigger ones. But we've seen now the big guys. We've seen Sunder has done a big deal with Marriott. We see lots of consolidation. Check My Guest. I just merged with a big French property manager, 2,000 listings, merged with Oyo, and we've seen that that dependence actually impacts their valuation. So obviously using tools to stay ahead of the curve is great. To think that a balanced, diversified strategy would actually give your business a higher value, and think about it wisely when you do your distribution.
Amazing. Thank you. Alrighty. The next question I think we have here is what are some resources to help find traveler data and demographics to assist in developing guest personas for marketing? Like you mentioned, children, maybe families, and maybe business travelers, things like that. How would you help find this data or even build like a demographic that you're looking to aim towards?
I don't know if my turn to talk, but it's we would look into what we do is that we look into our official statistics in the country, which is open online when you can probably Statistica or something, so you can read facts and figures for and you would see some government statistics on who are the guests coming to and then using check-in forms from Guesty, from your guest app, whichever you're using, and collecting your guest data, and then actually having these, then you can understand that, all right, I can see that out of the different audiences and different feeder markets, I'm tapping more into these guys, etc., etc. So asking your guests is something. We did a survey around 36,000 guests and asked them why they were booking direct, why they came to this destination, etc. And the answer was not obvious. We thought A, actually say B. So data and collecting this data is super important. So ask your guests, make a form online, probably in your check-in form after the checked-in. Hey guys, just asking you a few questions. Maybe a checkout. Very good insight directly from the first hand is the best you can have.
Perfect. Bram, did you have anything to share coming from the data side about traveler data or demographics that, how
Sure, yeah. Of course, you could purchase a copy of the State of the American Traveler Survey or something like that. That's pretty expensive. Maybe a more reasonable thing to do might be to just start getting some of that data that's, not only national, but also regional and maybe even city specific to you. So you can start looking at what are the trends that are going on, so you can pick out some interesting pick out some interesting things with some data. So, for instance, over the last year, what we've seen is a lot of the lower end hotel demand has been falling off, and we think it's been supported by short-term rental increased interest in short-term rentals. There's a new phenomenon of group travel. It's a great affordable way to travel and something that only short-term rentals can really do effectively. So, looking at the trends, what are the other people in your space doing? How is the market performing? Is it, are there different segments? Are the upper price doing better? Are the lower price doing better? So those types of trends, I think, can really start helping with getting a pulse on what the direction of the consumer is going, how they're feeling. And it may not be even changing demographics, but you might have the same group of people that are coming year after year, but maybe they feel differently this year because of circumstances. So again, data, always look to the data to see if you can find those trends.
Yeah, absolutely. And with Upstate, how do you guys ingest data? Do you do it in-house? I saw you mention key data as well. I'm sure that plays a little bit of a part into kind of understanding the personas of the marketing, if you want to expand on it, Jenna.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, completely agree with Bram. Data is key. We use Key Data, a great software reporting tool. Pricing software, they do have a lot of market data available to you. There are also some free tools that you could use, such as going straight to the OTA in the back end. If you have an account manager, they're a great resource. If you don't, that's okay. There are free reporting tools available when you do connect onto the extranet of Booking.com, Airbnb, etc. Google Analytics would also be a great tool as well to help you with demographic data.
Perfect. Alrighty,
I'll have to give you a tour of the platform one day.
That would be great.
Absolutely. As we kind of wind down here, I'm going to leave with one question for each of our participants here. What are the key features of Guesty's platform that, from your experience, differentiates it from other products on the market?
I can start if you like. So I mentioned in my presentation that I really love the accommodation markup tool on Guesty. So, you can individualize it per OTA that you're connected to through Guesty. It helps cover some of the commission that the OTAs charge you, but you can also utilize that markup to play around with some promotions on the OTAs as well without actually needing to provide a discount and still getting that visibility. So definitely the accommodation markups is a great tool to use.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. Rudy, did you have anything to share?
I really like the flexibility of the multi-calendar, and actually the API of Guesty is great is very extensive. for any mid to large property managers trying to do some custom developments. So it is one of the best we've seen on the market. So yeah, I really like this part of the system. Again, it's a very holistic system. So it can be almost your one of your stall systems. We use only 3 tools on our for our operations, which is our guest app, Guesty, and Mavericks. So and this covers it all. So we don't have to stack many tech stacks. But that's that would be a good solution for someone that wants a holistic, very connected and connectable tool, right?
Perfect. Amazing.
Yeah,
Well,
to echo what Rudy's said, there's been a lot of debate. Which channel should I go on? With Airbnb? Should I do VRBO? Should I do a direct booking site? Well, the real answer is do all of them. And that's what's Guesty software is really going to help you to do, is to take advantage of every opportunity to get your listing out there.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to take this time. I want to thank you everyone for joining today. And thank you so much, Bram, Rudy, Jenna, for joining. We look forward to seeing everyone at many upcoming virtual events we have planned for the short-term rental community, all of which will be posted on our events page at guesty.com. Please don't hesitate to reach out to events@guesty.com with any other questions you may have. Thank you everyone for attending.